Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I'd like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And today, I will be talking Criterion comedies. Yes, a thing that there's not nearly enough of. I mean, there's probably a lot of them in there that I just don't own. But when you think Criterion Collection, you don't think like, ha, comedy. You know what I mean? You think like artsy foreign films and such. But these are my 3 favorite comedies that I own in my Criterion Collection in no particular order. First, I'm going to go with my most recent pickup, a very recent release, number 1173. This is only on Blu-ray. There is no 4K, which I'm always hesitant to buy the Blu-rays now because they always get re-released. But when it's this new of a release, you could probably assume they have no real intent in putting it on 4K because they just would have done that in the first place. From 1987, a very swift 81 minutes, Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle. I watched this for the first time after having bought this release. This is co-written by Keenan Ivory Wayans of In Living Color. He's in the movie as well. This is basically the practice reel for Living Color. You can almost tell by watching it. It's kind of surprising that Robert Townsend didn't really have anything to do with the show after having watched this movie. This movie is basically a sketch movie, which I sort of knew going into it, but I didn't know to the extent. And it was honestly a little more so than I expected. Some whole sequences of this movie are just like one 15-minute long sketch, but yet it somehow works into the narrative. It is a comedy that is making fun of African-American actors in Hollywood at the time, basically having themselves make fun of the roles that they are allowed to get throughout, and it is hilarious. They only are able to, play slaves and butlers, so on and so forth, things of that nature. So you have these fantastic actors in this movie lowering themselves to playing these horrible stereotypes, and it's hysterical, like how ridiculous they get at some points. But you also have Damon Wayans in this movie a little bit. It has a very funny cast. I'm a Meteor Man fan for life, so I'm glad I finally saw his debut film, or at least what I think is his debut film, Robert Townsend. Before that, this is his most critically acclaimed movie. Meteor Man, not so much. But if you haven't seen this, and you like sketch comedy, and you like In Living Color or anything like that, you'll get a kick out of this. Or UHF even. It has like UHF vibes minus the Weird Al goofiness. It has, obviously more of an important message to this movie than UHF has, but it does it in spades. So next I haven't opened this one yet. I'm going to do that. Yes, I always recommend this movie, yet I haven't opened it and watched it myself. I almost watched it the other day, but Hollywood Shuffle was shorter, so I had more time to watch it. That is Albert Brooks' Defending Your Life, starring Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks, of course. This one is from 1991. It is spine number 1071 and is 111 minutes. So, it's an average length movie, so you can fit it in most times. But long story short, Albert Brooks' character dies and goes to Judgment City, where it is basically like the afterlife waiting room to see if you're going to go to heaven or hell. Purgatory, there's the word, I can think of it. And hilarity ensues. He meets Meryl Streep, gets a romantic relationship going in purgatory, essentially, and hopes to somehow follow her into the forever afterlife, is the gist of this movie. If you like Albert Brooks' comedy, and you haven't seen this, do that. It's hilarious. My wife and I quote it. There's like one line in this movie my wife and I quote like on a weekly basis. So I won't say what it is because no context makes no sense. But Defending Your Life, I need to get, what's the other one he has in the collection? Lost in America, is that right? With him in it as well. And Julie Hagerty, I think, from Airplane is the co-star in that one. So that's another one I want to buy and watch. That's also in the Criterion Collection. I'm sure that one's hilarious as well, because I don't think I've watched anything with Albert Brooks that I haven't at least gotten a laugh out of, especially from him, with the exception of Drive, where he's not funny at all. He's just scary as hell and amazing. Defending Your Life, very good, only on Blu-ray. My third one here, I'm going old school. Spine number 75, repping my teenage years with the, this one, it's harder to see like the length and stuff on these old ass DVD releases. By the way, this is a DVD release. 1997, 113 minutes. Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy. This has only gotten a DVD from Criterion. Sadly, no Blu-ray or 4K yet. Will it ever get one? Maybe. Who knows with the whole Harvey Weinstein guff going on. This is honestly my least favorite of the 90s Kevin Smith movies. Just because I used to watch them because they're funny, and this I would say is the least funny of all of the movies, but it is probably the best movie objectively that he has made and possibly has ever made. There's the disc there. But you got Jane Silent Bob in this. Jason Lee is amazing. Ben Affleck is great in this movie. Joey Lauren Adams is great in this movie. It is a solid, I mean, you could say it's a romantic comedy, but it doesn't have romantic comedy vibes to it, at least for very long. Essentially, this man here, Mr. Affleck, loves this lady here who also happens to like the ladies, so it becomes a thing. But it's a very good movie. It's one I didn't like that much the first time I saw it, and then the more and more I watched it, I liked it. This basically saved Kevin Smith's career after Mallrats bombed so horribly, which is too bad because Mallrats was my favorite at the time when I was a teenager, because he did Clerks for, no money at all, and it was a big hit. As far as a big hit goes, it made a few $1 million off of a essentially nothing budget. Mallrats, they spent not a ton on, like $6 million or something like that, but it made less than Clerks, let's put it that way. So essentially no one wanted anything to do with him, so he went back to his roots and made this very independent movie for only like $250,000, which is like, can you even do that anymore? Especially with this caliber of acting and so forth. I'd argue that he should have gotten an original screenplay nomination out of this one, but that is the third one I picked. I could do a whole episode about Wes Anderson movies, but I thought I'd give Kevin Smith some props because I've always liked him so much. 3 Criterion comedies, Hollywood Shuffle and Defending Your Life I recommend buying. Chasing Amy, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a DVD and it's an old one. You can get it on Blu-ray. It might not have the same features as the Criterion one does, but it's going to look and sound a little better. But I recommend the movie nonetheless if you haven't seen it. So those are my 3 favorite Criterion comedies that I own in my collection. Once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. I will hopefully do a couple more of these before the sale ends and show off more of my Criterion movies that I think you should at least watch, if not buy, before the end of the sale. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.